Hi everyone, so it's weekend number 6 of lockdown in the UK, and this is my weekly video to let you guys know what I'm up to in the shack and maybe inspire you to do some radio stuff yourselves. This weekend, well, I was thinking last night actually, what am I going to do? And I've been uploading some videos recently of some sort of bedside table DXing with my Texan PL880 and the Sony AN71 sort of real antenna clipped to it and just hung across the sort of bedroom window. And I've been amazed at some of the things that that I've heard with that, and you've seen, you know, some sort of low-powered Brazilian stations that you would never imagine you could hear indoors, and that got me thinking last night. So I probably did this years ago, but when I got my first Wellbrook loop, but I thought, I wonder, given that the noise here, electrical noise here is so low, I wonder what I could hear just with a length of wire, you know, just like a long wire effectively. So this morning I got a reel of wire and I literally as a spool put it on the on that well, branch, I suppose. It's not exactly a branch, but and then just kind of like pulled it, unraveled it along the back of the garden, across the corner, and then up the fence and into my shack. And I just thought it would be interesting to sort of figure out, you know, what is the actual difference in performance if you live in a, if you're lucky enough to have a garden that is or a house and garden that's electrically quite quiet. How the performance of a length of wire does actually compare to a Wellbrook, because, you know, we all know how brilliant the Wellbrooks are, but they're also really expensive. And so I've done that, and I'm going to just show you my setup. Just going to go back indoors. Also, I mean, the other thing I'm going to be doing this weekend is I'm going to be carrying on using the ICR75. Got a really nice daylight signal from Antenna Satellite in Brasov, Romania. Playing that Romanian folk music that I love. What time is it? So it's 10:30 in the morning, UK time. So this is attached to one of the Wellbrooks down in the bottom of the garden. But I think that's really good reception for daytime. So what's been happening is I've been like getting up really early and catching transatlantic medium wave DX on this radio, and some of the videos I've uploaded, I've got 2 or 3 more actually. There's something quite wonderful about sitting here listening to an AM medium wave station from the United States in daylight as the sun's coming up over the back of the garden there. Yeah, I love it. So one of my subscribers described this as an inspired idea, and I think that in retrospect I think it actually was. So this radio is going to stay there for a while. Let's go into the shack. So what I've done is I've done the obvious thing. I've connected my long wire to the high Z terminal on the RSP Duo and on tuner 1, and on tuner 2 I've connected one of my Wellbrook loops. And this is the best way, obviously, to make a direct comparison. And if you actually look at the screen here, so this is 15335, which I think is CRI. This signal here on the left is the long wire, high Z, and this signal on the right is the Wellbrook. And if you actually look at the signal to noise on the long wire, excuse me while I put my glasses on, it's sort of hovering around 20, 22, 25, 26, 27 almost. Signals kind of about just over +5, S9 +5. So in the 20s, low to mid 20s. And then if you look at the signal from the Wellbrook loop, this £250 antenna, signal to noise, dropping down a bit there, but okay, so 23, 25, 26, 23. It's very similar. And the signal strength, S9, or almost peaking 10/9 there, but between S9 and plus 10. And I think that's really interesting. So what this means is that these two, the signal on these two antennas, a piece of wire, probably, I don't know, 30 meters of wire, with a value, you know, cost of basically 0, is delivering as good a signal as my Wellbrook on this frequency. So if I just let you hear the audio, so this is the audio on the on the wire. And this is the audio on the Wellbrook. And back to the wire. And the Wellbrook. Well, there's literally nothing in it. I mean, there is literally, you can't, there's no difference. And what's also interesting is if you look really closely, the noise floor on my wire is around about minus 120 dBs. And on the Wellbrook, it's the same, but is it actually slightly, is the noise floor slightly higher? I don't know. It's very, very similar. It's close enough as makes no difference for sure. So this weekend I'm going to be doing some more testing on that. If I go back, it is frequency dependent. If I go to 252 long wave, then we're going to get a different result, I'm sure. So that's 252 long wave, so that's RTE. And let's do the same here, 252. And I need to reduce the audio bandwidth filter, which you'll go down to about there. And now there's a difference. So 252 kilohertz long wave. This is the wire. You know, it's listenable, but it wouldn't be very enjoyable. And then the Wellbrook.
On one of those examples you talked about.
There you go.
Because right now we're
a big difference. Signal on the wire is coming at about S8, whereas the signal on the Wellbrook is approaching S20. Signal to noise with the Wellbrook over 30, mid-30s, 30-something dBs, and on the wire about 10. So it is frequency dependent, but that's what an experiment's all about. And for sure, on HF frequencies, on higher frequencies, because it's electrically quite quiet here, I don't think there's going to be a lot of difference. And so this is going to be an interesting test. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make some direct comparisons, but I've got my PL880 upstairs as a bedside radio, and I'm going to attach this long wire to it when I finished uploading the videos that I've recorded with the Sony AN71, and let's see how good it is, because I mean some of the results with the Sony with a piece of wire inside the house have been literally amazing. So let's see what what an external piece of wire that's, like I said, it's at least, I reckon it's 30 meters long, maybe a bit longer, is going to deliver. So that's one thing. The other thing that I've been doing is that I decided a couple of days ago to set up my Yaesu FRA 7700 preamp. So this is basically attached to the FRG 7700, and it's basically an amplified telescopic antenna. Now that is actually, that telescopic antenna isn't actually fully extended, it's huge. It's going to mark the ceiling. So basically what you've got is a preamp, and so you can basically match this amplified antenna based on what frequency you're listening to. So you can set the band, you can adjust the gain, you can adjust whether you want to listen to DX signals or broadcast signals, and then you can actually tune it in. And I've got the same signal here from China. Now this is indoors, so bear in mind this isn't going to be as good, but if you actually, and then if I tune this in and out a bit, there you go. So it's drifted a little bit. You can see. Now, I don't know why, but because obviously it's electrically quiet here compared to my old QTH, I've been wondering for a while. It's that really, and the fact that my results for DXing upstairs have been so good that it just made me wonder, well, what else can you hear on an unsophisticated, cheap antenna? Now, this isn't completely unsophisticated, obviously, because it's a box of electronics, amplifier and what have you. But what I might do is I'm going to probably clip my long wire that I've put out to the telescopic at some point and see what I can hear on the FRG 7700. I love this radio. I mean, this is a keeper. I paid a couple £100 to get it refurbished and serviced a couple of years ago. Graham Radio Cruncher did a fantastic job, and so no doubt this is a radio that isn't ever going anywhere. One other thing I learned actually was that this light I bought creates a huge amount of noise. It's fine when I, like for instance last night when I did our Friday night Sked with Harwell Amateur Radio Society, I use this lamp because my eyesight's not that great, so I need the lamp. It doesn't affect my work on the G5RV when I'm obviously transmitting on transmit or receive, and it doesn't affect the transmit or receive on the Wellbrook loops at the bottom of the garden. But try to listen to anything indoors with this lamp on and the noise is absolutely horrendous. And even when it's switched off, there's a clicking noise from the mains power supply that can be picked up, that's a constant on any antenna, any radio internally, and you have to literally unplug that lamp from the mains to stop that noise. And I discovered that last night when I basically started ferreting around through my rat's nest of cables. So any indoor DXing is certainly better done with that lamp unplugged. So so there you go. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing this weekend. Having a play around with the FRG 7700, having a play around with my with this sort of long wire antenna. I'm still doing FT8. I was on 20 meters yesterday, just in the background working from home, and you can see I made a lot of QSOs, decoded everywhere from the west coast of the United States down into Brazil, South America, Indonesia, South Africa. This was interesting, and I can't remember if I've told you guys, but there's somebody, an operator, well I know who it is, it's 9 Golf 5 Alpha Foxtrot in Ghana, in Accra, who 17 hours ago decoded my signal at -20 dBs. So there you go. FT8 has reached Ghana. The guy actually, I think he's Israeli. I looked him up. Obviously living in Ghana. So that was interesting. I'll do a bit more of that. I have that kind of running in the background, but I can't do that at the same time as my testing with the long wire versus the Wellbrook. So I'll have to swap and change. So that's it. So there you go. That's my activities for this weekend with radio. You know, I hope you guys keep safe. Oh, the other thing I've done is my Hacker Super Sovereign now takes pride of place in the living room because I consider it to be a work of art and audio that's, well, it's almost like hi-fi quality. It's so great. So that now lives in the living room as well. So that's about it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it inspires you guys to do some radio this weekend. This working from home during lockdown has pros and cons. I mean, it does feel pretty isolated, sat at home all week, even though I have sort of regular Zoom calls and Skype calls with the people that work for me and what have you. It's still, I still rather be in the office, to be honest with you. It's a bit of a lonely old place at times, but you know, for a very good reason. You know, the NHS and all the worker, you know, the NHS workers, you know, they're the ones with a real hard job. But what we're doing is straightforward. I mean, all we've got to do is put up with ourselves and our own company and the company of our immediate family for a few weeks. You know, what they're having to go through is horrendous, obviously, and I appreciate them more than, you know, more than I can say, really, and I'm sure you all do as well. So and at least the hobby of radio allows us to pass the time a bit easier, because if it wasn't for this hobby, oh my goodness me, I would be bored, I think, and I'm not even joking about that. You know, so we're really fortunate to have a hobby that that we enjoy, that can be done from home. You know, we're lucky in that respect. Okay, well, I think that's enough for me. Have a great rest of the weekend. Good DX, and I'll no doubt talk to you soon on the channel and answer your comments. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. 73.